is 6:18, 69 degrees, and today is National Vinyl Record Day because there is a holiday for everything, and this is the day to celebrate how people used to listen to music back in the day.
But the vinyl record is back, and it's back in a big way. Our Krista Rose is on the block this morning at Reckless Records in Wicker Park with more on why. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, guys. We're here at Reckless Records in Wicker Park, and I got to tell you, it's a pretty good start to National Vinyl Record Day. Right now, I don't know if you guys can hear, we're jamming out to my mother's favorite album, which I got to show you. We just found. This is Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down. I can't tell you how many times we listen to this one in my house. David Hoffer, how are you, sir? You're the manager here at Reckless Records. Good morning.
How are you? Thank you.
Hey, man, it's a good day, especially when you're talking about vinyl, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Tell me something. What's the deal with vinyl? What is it? Why is it so important? Why should we like it?
Well, I don't know. It's just there's been a little bit of a resurgence in the last couple years. I think just the. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, but I think just, you know, with the ease and fluidity of MP3s and digital stuff, there's just like a new generation kind of appreciating a physical product and like everything that goes along with it. It's just kind of vinyl. It's never really gone away technically, just like in sort of the mainstream it did for maybe a brief spell there, but it's just kind of proving its worth again.
And I think it's important to point out, and just knowing what very little amount I know about sound quality, vinyl is analog, and you know something I get off of iTunes is stereo. What is the technical difference there?
Well, something you'd get off iTunes would just be considered digital. I mean, records can also be in stereo. That just means there's two speakers playing the music. But as far as the analog versus digital argument, I mean, we were talking earlier, I am not a scientist, but when you listen to them, you can tell if you want to get into the very base technology of it. Digital just kind of strips away all the highs and lows and just like frequencies that you can only get with the analog process. That's the only thing I'm going to say, because again, I'm not a scientist. I don't.
But no, you're the manager of this awesome shop. Tell me a little bit about who you guys are, how many incredible records you guys have, how long you've been here, how long you've been doing this.
Well, the company actually started in London in the early 80s. The first U.S. shop was in San Francisco, which is kaput. And then the first Chicago shop after that was on Broadway and Belmont, which is still up there. That was in 1987, I think. So then this store opened 2 locations ago in Wicker Park. We were on North Avenue. Now I believe it's Sultan's, part of Sultan's Market. Then we moved to 1532 North Milwaukee. We were there for, like 15 or more years, and then we moved into this spot in April of this year.
Well, I was just looking around the shop, and I wanted to point out I found some gems. Of course, I showed you Lionel Richie, but I found Elvis live from Memphis, which is great. And I think this is a typical example of some really classic music, but then there's some hidden gems. So for you fans out there of MeTV, look what I found for you. This is the soundtrack to Bonanza. Bonanza, ladies and gentlemen. These are just 2 examples of some of the great albums you will find here. In the next hour, we're going to be talking about what it takes to start a vinyl collection, you know, what kind of turntable I might need, all that good stuff. And I'm going to find my very, very favorite album here in the store. So I'll toss it back to you guys in the studio, where I hear that you have your own records to show off.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Chris. So many great albums out there. It's hard to pick one favorite. I have a couple of my favorites here. One of the first, I think the first full-length album I ever had that my mother bought for me and wrote my name on so that I would know it was mine. You know, but you know what I think? I mean, and I'm an only child, but I think because my mom was one of 12, she wrote her name on everything that was hers. So she just got in the habit of that. So Off the Wall. That's a great album. Yep, his first solo album. And then the one that scandalized my mama when I came back home with it. Rick James. But this is not what bothered her. This is what bothered her. She was like, why does that policeman have his hand on his behind? What? What is this?
Poor mama.
I know. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun.
And of course, we can't even think of Rick James anymore without the
Right.
Dave Chappelle parody of him that was so hilarious.
I'm Rick James. Darkness. So what do you got? What do you have
Charlie
there?
Murphy. I've got Sting, Nothing
Yes.
Like the Sun. That's
Perfect
a great album.
album.
It had Englishman in New York on it. This is his first solo album after The Police. That's
And
a
look
good
how
one.
hot he looks on the cover there.
I know.
Let's take a look at that.
Look at that again.
Look at that
There he is,
beautifulness.
doing his thing, being Sting. And then The Pretenders, that
Yeah.
one too. That's a good one. Brass in Pocket, that's a good.
Show the people. Look at this.
Good one.
So listen, for today's Facebook question, as we go through our list of all our favorites, and this is only scratching the surface, you see how many albums we have on the table. We want to know, what is your favorite album of all time, even if you never listened to it on vinyl, actually. Go to our Facebook page, like us, leave a comment, and we will share some of your responses throughout the morning. Looking forward to hearing, you know, your favorites, your first, because I think most of us remember all our first. I wish I could find, I had a 12-inch of Rapper's Delight. That was the
Ooh.
first, like, single that I bought.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a pretty
Nice.
good one.
Nice.
Doom, doom, doom. Okay, anyway, still to come on You and Me, feeding hungry
And it's National
children around
Vinyl
the
Record
world.
Day.
We will Krista Rose is out digging through some old albums. He's digging in the crates, y'all. We will check out his stash when You and Me returns.
Mount up. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets, trying to
Had to regulate.
It's been an interesting mix today. We appreciate however that came about. Now, it's 7:18, and today is National Vinyl Record Day, and the old school way of listening to music is back in a big way.
Our Krista Rose is back on the block this morning at Reckless Records in Wicker Park with more. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, gang. Yes, it is National Vinyl Records Day, and we're at Reckless Records in Wicker Park, and here I am again with my good buddy, Dave Hoffer, the store manager. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Now, we were talking during our downtime. Apparently, a lot of musicians now are putting out vinyl. Who are some of those famous folks that are doing that?
Oh, geez. Well, you have an example in your hand right
I
here.
do.
Store favorite, Taylor Swift. I mean, she's a megastar, you know, selling out like 4 nights at Soldier Field or something, but she knows where the demand is, you know. Other people, I mean, like your U2s of the world, Fall Out Boy, I mean, basically any band you can think of.
Why vinyl? Why would somebody like Taylor Swift go, okay, I'm not going to just release a CD or on iTunes. I'm going to put out vinyl.
Well, kind of going back to what we were talking about before with vinyl sort of like proving its worth once again, you know, and the people that are like the younger generation that sort of, again, want this tangible, like sort of collectible item. I mean, it's appealing to her fans and to music fans in general, so it's the winning combination, so to speak.
We were talking about starting a vinyl collection, and I asked you, if you were starting it, what would you be your 4 albums to kind of put together? And you have assembled some over here, so what do we got?
Okay, I picked these quickly but smartly. These are all things you could come in here and buy today if you wanted to. Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, classic 90s hip-hop album. Of course, Jimi Hendrix, Axis Bold as Love. Get your guitar goodness on. Newer release, a group called Run the Jewels. It's 2 rappers, LP and Killer Mike. I know it sounds dangerous. I assure you it's not good hip-hop music. That's, well, like 2 years old now, maybe. And then another classic, Velvet Underground, Loaded. Nice.
Well, and you can also get turntables and things real quick because we're wrapping up. How much would an average turntable run you?
You could get a turntable that'll last you until you're dead for about $100, I would say.
That's not bad. And you know what? If you're starting your collection, I want to point out that I've started mine. We were playing Lionel Richie. So I got that for 99 cents here at Reckless Records. And then, of course, we were listening to the smooth stylings of Mr. Neil Diamond, the Hot August Nights tour, which my mother was at, by the way. Mom, big shout out. Look at this, though. I got to show this. Oh, here it is. Look at the album art. Just check that out. I mean, if that doesn't get you going in the morning, I don't know what will. I'm going to toss it back to you guys. Happy National Vinyl Record Day to you all.
All right, it is 7:21. Rob just distracted us, asking us if we wanted to show off our albums again, namely his. There are so many great albums that it is hard to pick out just one favorite. We've been talking about it, and I listed like 5. You had 3 or 4.
I know. It's hard to say.
You know, trying to pick from every genre we like, but we're going to try to make you try as well.
So for today's Facebook question, we want to know, what's your favorite album of all time? Go to our Facebook fan page, like us, and leave a comment. We'll share some of your responses throughout the morning.